Ah, fiery as ever. What an inspiring sight.
Oh, hey Ferdinand. You think so? The way I see it, a mercenary who doesn't train every day probably won't stay a merc for long.
I cannot dispute your logic. Though, I must say, you never did strike me as a typical mercenary. And your upward trajectory has proven me right. To go from nothing to a commander rivaling even the finest of nobles as quickly as you have is astounding. You are the most intriguing woman.
Well, that's because I've made a habit of giving my all. I'm honestly just happy to have earned Edelgard's respect.
You're all, you say?
Something wrong?
To the contrary, I find your attitude inspirational. We are birds of a feather, you and I. Every task I undertake must also be done to utmost perfection. Polishing my armor? It shall have a mirror sheen. Cooking a meal? Let not even a single ingredient go to waste. True nobility means surmounting any challenge before you with no less than every fiber of your being.
That's taking it a little far, don't you think? Maybe you're not wasting food, but what about your time and energy? And I'm not any sort of noble, you know.
I am aghast. Are you suggesting that devoting myself fully to every endeavor is wasteful?
I mean, yeah. If you put your all into every little thing, you'll run out of stamina right when you need it most. You're like the knight in that proverb, the one who spends all day building a fence around his Pegasus, only for it to fly away.
Valuable advice for a Pegasus, perhaps, but I am no beast. I am Ferdinand von Eyre.
It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone needs to take it easy sometimes. If you always keep your bowstring taut, it's just gonna snap when you actually need to fire.
I assure you I am no bowstring either, but I take your point. However, there is no cause for concern. As I have told you on multiple occasions, I am Ferdinand von Eyre. Whether I am resting, enjoying leisurely pursuits, or simply in contemplation, I always apply all my energy to the task at hand. At work or at rest, I will forever give it my all. Ha ha ha!
Seriously? What's full-on resting even look like?
Now, time for a break. Let us concentrate our efforts on rousing conversation. Afterwards, I say we reward ourselves with a gripping training session and crown the evening with a meal well deserving of our ravenous appetites.
Ugh.
Is something amiss?
I don't know. It feels like you might be leaning a little too hard on the whole giving your all thing. You didn't used to be like this. I know you want to do your best, but it's starting to feel like I can't even relax when I'm with you.
Perhaps you are right. I have been feeling rather restless lately. I suppose seeing my father locked away in that dungeon made me feel the need to accomplish something. At times like these, devoting myself fully to what few things I can do is all that keeps me going. Otherwise, I would simply succumb to the reality of how powerless I truly am. The pressure is immense.
Now that you mention it, I think I finally know what was feeling off about you. It's that pressure forcing you to keep your guard up, like you're constantly braced for the worst. Take your breaks, for example. It never looks like you're doing anything even resembling relaxing. I wouldn't worry about your father, though. I know you'll find the right solution.
I appreciate your counsel. I feel as though I have gained some valuable new insight into myself. After all, one can hardly notice the changes they undergo as they happen. It seems partnering with you is the right decision. Your advocacy for maximal effort continues to be an inspiration.
Oh, I wasn't really trying to give you advice or anything, and that's definitely not what I'm advocating for. But if what I said helped, then I'm glad I could be there for you. I just hope you can start cutting yourself a little slack. Your future's bright, Ferdinand.
A veritable wellspring of advice as always. I am deeply obliged.
As long as you're feeling better. I mean, war councils are grim already, but they'd be practically unbearable with you sulking around the place. And really, it was nothing. Just here to help.
Nothing? If ever there is a time to give it one's all, it is when expressing gratitude. It seems you could learn something from me as well. And just you watch. I swear on the Iron Name, I will surpass my father in the most stunning fashion.
He's never gonna learn, is he?
Perhaps I will ask Edelgard to handle this matter. As for this one, it seems as though I have no choice but to do it myself. If only I could spare the time.
Hey, Ferdinand, you should probably think about getting some sleep. And that's an order, actually, from Hubert. But I agree with him.
My apologies. My list of responsibilities has grown rather unwieldy of late. Exhausted as I may be, I will be done here shortly. You need not fret.
Ferdinand, come on. I thought you were supposed to be giving everything your all. If you're really that tired, how are you gonna be in any shape for what's coming tomorrow? Go on and give your all to a good night's sleep.
Yes, you are right. How could I, of all people, not realize the error in my ways? I shall take that to heart.
Glad to hear you're coming around. Anyway, good night. Tomorrow's another big day.
Wait.
What's up?
Never mind. Thank you for the concern. I will be sure to convey my gratitude to Hubert later as well.
Don't forget. He's really worried about you, you know.
Is he now? Usually he finds any occasion to criticize me.
Same here.
Is that so? And here I thought he had taken a shine to you.
If he has, he sure doesn't show it.
Before I forget, what would you think about coordinating our schedules tomorrow? I've been so absorbed in my work of late, we've scarcely had the chance to spend time together. I have been pouring all of my effort into rising early, training, eating, and in the process, I have neglected our friendship. As fellow advocates of giving one's all to all of life's pursuits, I say we work together to draw out each other's dormant potential.
Works for me. My schedule's pretty light these days. It'll be good to spend some time together. But just so we're clear, we are not on the same page with this whole giving our all thing.
Splendid! This should serve as all the motivation I need to continue pressing onward undaunted. And with that settled, I believe it is time for us to devote ourselves fully to a tranquil slumber. Come, our lump-riddled camp beds await our zealous efforts.
Okay, this time you are joking, right? It's seriously impossible to tell with you sometimes.
Ah, Ferdinand. I hadn't realized you'd returned to the palace.
Yes, here I am. Not that I have official business like you.
Then why come such a long way? Ah, I see. You're here to visit your father.
I am ashamed to say this was my first time seeing him in his cell. My father insisted I stay away for my own safety. Though I must confess, the dungeon was not the horrid place I had imagined it to be. I was envisioning, you know, fiery hot pokers, spikes, that manner of thing.
Oh. Then it may interest you to know that we do actually have such a dungeon. I've only seen it once myself. It's further down from where we're keeping the former Duke. It's a dismal place. One where rats scurry to and fro.
Rats? I do not imagine Father would cope well with that at all. While he did look haggard, it sounds as though his treatment could be far, far worse.
We're doing our best to keep him in good health. The rest will depend on his frame of mind.
Well, you will hear no complaints from me. I care only that he is kept alive and given a fair trial, and that his punishment fits the crime, of course.
You'd better speed things along then, because Hubert is quickly losing patience.
A fact of which I am very well aware. The problem is that I remain unable to connect my father to many of the acts he is accused of.
Perhaps you're wasting your time. A noble as powerful as your father could easily have documents forged and witnesses bought off. Any records that remain will be considered far too dubious to prove guilt or innocence.
Another fact I am very much aware of. In truth, I already found proof some time ago. Proof of his corruption, that is. I discovered it while looking through his tax records. When I realized what he had done, I was ready to serve him up to the authorities myself.
Your own father? I'm surprised to hear you say that.
I mean it. I thought I could carefully build a solid case against him while studying at the academy. However, you had him clapped in irons before I could have my case organized. Now there is a bit of comedy. I idolized my father ever since I was a child. Yet I had to push those feelings aside in order to muster the anger to punish him. Now I find myself trapped between both of those emotions with no resolution in sight.
I see. And tell me, is that the end of your story? I thought you were going to become Prime Minister, keep me in line, surpass me even.
Oh, well, I did not mean...
You can still share words with your father and see him punished for his crimes, you know. So, if you desire resolution, start resolving matters. It's never too late. You're in better spirits than I expected. You look at least 2 shades less pale than you did after the battle at Fort Mercius.
Oh, but your majesty does enjoy telling it like it is. Would it be the end of you to show a little compassion? No. Then you would just be pitying me. I do not know which is worse. Regardless, I am well. Thank you for noticing. Ask of me what you will, and I shall see it done.
I don't need anything from you, Ferdinand. Or at least not in that way. Just give me your usual effort, and that should be enough to get us through the upcoming battle.
You can count on me. Point me at a foe, and I will dispatch them with all haste. I cannot afford to die now, or my page in the history books will end in a most horrid fashion. Plagued by the guilt of striking down his father, Ferdinand welcomed the cold embrace of death on the battlefield. Or some such hogwash. Yes, I killed my father. And I would be a liar if I said it did not wound me nearly beyond reckoning. But I will not hate myself for it. It was the correct choice. I did the right thing.
Well, don't feel too bad. Imagine what they would write about me if we lose this war. Despite her futile attempts to wrest power from the Prime Minister, the Emperor's people turned against her and her life ended in abject failure. The end. I know exactly what the world would say of me, which is why I have no intention of losing.
I will not permit such a thing to happen. If ever my life were to be weighed against yours, I would gladly perish in ignominy if it meant keeping you alive and well. What? Did I say something amusing?
No, it's just... You're so strong, so proud. If all the world's nobles were like you, there would be no need to dismantle the aristocracy. That's all. I know it's a futile thought.
Nothing is futile. Though even I must admit it seems to be so, given the circumstances. Still, you vastly underestimate the potential of the aristocracy. For generations, our ancestors worked hand in hand, sharing knowledge and wisdom to administer our great land and ensure it was well protected. They acquired knowledge of the region and developed good policies to rule it. And in doing so, they earned the trust of the people. We cannot throw away everything they have built. It would be folly.
Of course not. What do you take me for? I'm dismantling the aristocracy, not their legacy. The common folk will take up the torch and carry on.
Do you believe they are ready? No matter how gifted they may be, they are only commoners. In order to replace the nobility, they need to be educated. Wait a moment. I see your plan now. You intend to establish a school. One that is not merely for nobles and wealthy merchant children, like the Officers' Academy once was. A school where anyone can enroll, regardless of wealth or standing, and get an education rivaling that of any noble.
Ferdinand? I cannot begin to guess where that idea sprung from, but this is exactly why I need you beside me as we shape the future of Adrestia.
You mean to say that you did not actually... So I was... Well, it is nice to be needed. So when it comes to President, that is the situation. Yes, I see.
Burning the midnight oil, are we? Such zeal.
Ah, Hubert. What are you doing here at this hour? Up to your usual intrigues behind Edelgard's back?
I would thank you not to make such blind and rude assumptions when you lack any basis for them.
Well, yes. I suppose I was making assumptions. You have my apologies.
Not at all. I am, in truth, up to my usual intrigues, so your amends are quite unnecessary.
Oh, all right then. Hold a moment. You were?
In any event, what are you reading with such vigorous intent?
Listen to me, Hubert.
A book of past judicial precedent, is it? Ah, and specifically concerning the prosecution of nobles.
Yes. I have a mind to settle matters with my father. The letter of the law considers rebellion a capital crime, but practically speaking, that is not the case. Members of the nobility are especially likely to be granted clemency, and all the more so in recent years.
Yes, they expiate their guilt by surrendering peerage, providing assets and information, and leaning on the strength of their past meritorious deeds. In short, the nobility make full use of every excuse available to hold tight to their miserable lives. One could pluck off their arms and legs and leave them to fester in the dankest of prisons, and they would still come wriggling back to the surface. So long as they are permitted to live, that is.
Like with the former Marquis Vestra?
that one did not serve his emperor properly, and acted in a manner easily construed as treasonous. This is incontrovertible fact.
Go on.
Sadly, he resisted arrest and lost his life in the unfortunate incident that ensued. His guilt, or innocence, on the matter of treason will remain forever shrouded in mystery.
That sounds like a careful bit of sophistry to me. It appears to anyone with half a mind that you thought him guilty and had him executed. As a noble, he should have been judged in public, as is right and proper, no?
So long as they are permitted to live, the noble creature struggles desperately to continue doing so. Such is ever their nature.
Which is precisely why I am investigating precedent. In order to block any means by which my father could escape justice. I will not allow him to stage a comeback. I will see my father properly judged for his crimes.
But could you, if matters came to that? I wonder.
It is not a question of can or cannot. The man will be dealt with, and by my hand. I could never forgive myself otherwise. Not as the inheritor of the title of Duke Ire, nor as the one to succeed him as Prime Minister.
It is for Her Majesty to decide such things. However, if it proves to be in Her Majesty's interest, I suspect this resolve of yours will be most welcome.
I suppose that will be enough for today.
Splendid spearwork. You are every bit the ideal of a nobleman. One who wields both lance and pen with equal aplomb.
Hubert, as ever, you manage to materialize when one least expects it. If you insist on showing up in the middle of training, do not complain if you find yourself mistakenly skewered.
Yes. Accidents do so often happen during such exercises. Why, you could stab the life out of me here and now and still readily explain it away as a mere accident.
Enough, Hubert. Even if you are joking. Although, I suppose it was I who first spoke flippantly. You have my apologies.
I am ever at a loss to reply when you insist on apologizing so earnestly. In any event, your training has a certain ghastly quality about it of late. I found myself curious what it was that so impelled you, and came to check on the situation.
I should think it obvious. The climax of this war is upon us. Thus, I have to focus myself all the more and work vigorously toward ultimate victory. I do this for my comrades, for the Empire, and for a better future.
And perhaps for your departed father?
Why would you think that? The father I looked up to, the one who served as a pillar of the Empire, died long ago. The man we fought at Fort Merceus was nothing but a traitor who lost sight of how to live. At this point...
Listen to me, Ferdinand. If you wish to deny my claim, just tell me I am mistaken. As they say, those who protest overmuch admit the truth unwittingly.
That was not my intention. Yet I cannot deny there is a part of my heart which thinks exactly that.
You have changed. Well, no. Your true nature has not changed a bit. You are stubborn as ever, but there now also exists a rather flexible side to your personality.
And you never change. And have not since the days when I was an ignorant young man. Since that time, you have proceeded unerringly along this road at Edelgard's right hand. But now I'll walk that same path, and it is the two of you who stand at the vanguard.
If you have something to say, dispense with the flattery and speak plainly.
Fine. I mean to join you both at the forefront, so our Emperor will have loyalty at both her right and left. We shall be Hubert and Ferdinand, the twin jewels of the Empire.
The twin jewels of the Empire?
Was it truly so amusing?
Is something wrong, Ferdinand? You're staring quite intently at those plants while you water them.
I was merely reflecting on something I saw long ago in Enbar.
Oh? What would that be?
In truth, it is nothing noteworthy. Back when I was a child, I saw a water nymph dancing and singing in a fountain along the main street. She was radiant, brilliant in the dewy light of the sun. But as an immature young lad, I grew embarrassed and ran away.
Wait a minute. That sounds familiar.
And you're sure of what you saw? A water nymph?
Absolutely. Her song resonated within me. It was a bucolic tune sung by common folk around the capital. As I recall, she had not been wearing so much as a scrap of clothing. Anyway, once I finally mustered up the courage to return, the nymph had vanished.
Such a tale hardly seems possible.
What? That's the reason Ferdy ran away that day? No way. I've been wrong about him this whole time? I mean, considering how I must have looked in that fountain... Oh no. I can't even begin to face him right now. I have to go back.
Is that Dorothea? I wonder what she's doing over there.
He's seen me. All right, Dorothea, just be calm. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. Why, if it isn't Ferdy and 80, what a coincidence to bump into the two of you here.
Dorothea, your face is red.
Yes, indeed it is. Do you have a fever?
Really? I feel fine, but... Well, I was just coming to check on things, but since it all checks out, I'll be going. Bye!
Wait, you could suddenly take a turn for the worse. So, I will escort you back.
No, I'm fine. I'm not going far.
Yet still too far to travel alone. If something were to happen to you, it would already be too late. Come now, take my arm. Or if it please you, I could carry you there.
Enough! I am perfectly fine, so just mind your own business and stay away from me.
No one appreciates obstinance, Ferdinand.
Apologies. Although, given the intensity of her rebuff, I worry she may not have liked me to begin with. Have I committed some grave wrong against her? What should I do?
What am I supposed to say to Ferdy? Oh, this is such a problem. All my animosity towards him has been due to a misunderstanding on my part. I really owe him a...
Dorothea!
Ferdy? What in the world?
I shall not approach any closer. So pray, stand there and hear me out. My deepest apologies for what happened the other day. I fear I may have wounded you most grievously. As I am a fool who knows not how I upset you, you may freely laugh and jeer at my inadequacies.
There's some kind of lover's quarrel, maybe?
You think he's cheating on her? Nah, couldn't be. But then again...
Oh, for the love of... Ferdy! Please stop screaming our private business for all the world to hear!
But you told me to stay away from you! And I must not disregard your wishes in the matter! I implore you to forgive me! I have no wish for our relationship to end in such a horrid manner!
This is getting good. Can't say the lady looks too into it, though.
True, but if two folks really and truly love each other, they can overcome anything.
I forgive you, Ferdy! Now for the love of everything, stop shouting!
Thank you for forgiving me, Dorothea. And thank you for hearing out my thoughts on the matter.
Oh, I think everyone heard you out.
I see. And you are still cross with me.
Listen, Ferdy, you don't need to apologize.
Does this mean you will never forgive me for as long as I live? Whatever am I to do?
Just listen to me for a second. You don't have to apologize to me because I'm the one who should be apologizing to you.
Oh? But why? I should not think you have any defects to speak of.
I overheard you and Adie talking the other day. When you were telling her about the water nymph you saw in the fountain in Enbar? Well, I'm fairly sure what you thought was a nymph was actually me, as a child.
Come again?
That was the day I met Manuela and was invited to be a singer, and I was over the moon about it. I slipped into the fountain to wash up, hoping to scrub some of the dirt off of me. And then you appeared.
I see. But if the beautiful water nymph was actually you, then that means...
Yes, right. Anyway, I got embarrassed thinking about it, which is why I told you to stay away. That's all.
Yes. Well, I am glad we were able to clear that up.
Yes, that looks right.
Why, hello, Linhardt. It is not often I find you drawing outside.
I'm not drawing. I'm simply trying to capture this wyvern's form. See? It's resting on that hill over there.
Ah, an extraordinary sight indeed. Now then, let us see what you have done so far. I must say, it feels as though something is lacking in your work. How can I describe it? Your depiction is almost too accurate. Take these scales, for example. Why, they could have been plucked from the very wyvern itself.
I told you this isn't art. I'm doing it for my research. And when conducting research, it's always best to have precise references. The same is true when dealing with numbers or gathering information.
I see. So you value accuracy above all else.
Right. Honestly, I've never quite understood art anyway. So I'm perfectly content leaving that sort of thing to the true creatives. You know, the quirky ones. People like Bernadetta.
Even so, there may come a day when your work is seen as the craft of a master artisan, when such precision is lauded as the height of aesthetic genius.
What makes you say that?
Oh, merely a passing thought. Perhaps in the distant future, connoisseurs will value accuracy and attention to detail over the magnificent interpretive pieces we hold dear today.
Do you really think that'll happen, though? I doubt people will ever stop appreciating the ancient classics. You certainly have always done so.
Yes, there is no denying that. but I fear my own personal inclinations hold little sway over public opinion. Nobody knows what trends may arise in the decades and centuries to come. So I can indeed envision a future in which accurate depictions are praised just the same as the greats of old. And I encourage you to do the same, my friend.
I don't get it. How are you so optimistic all the time? It's like you're constantly looking toward the future.
I could say quite the same about you. I have always believed you to be rather forward-thinking.
That's not optimism, though. All I'm thinking forward to is the time when I can just sleep the days away. That's why I'm forcing myself to be as active as I can now.
Regrettably, those halcyon days of slumber are still but a distant dream. I have much work for you, both now and further down the road. To begin with, might I ask you to paint my portrait?
For the last time, I'm a researcher, not an artist. Are you sure you want such a faithful depiction?
That is exactly what I want. How else would my yet unborn descendants know the true visage of the great Ferdinand von Eyre? Indeed, I would be proud to submit myself as a subject of your research. Consider it a study in the personification of nobility itself.
Don't get ahead of yourself. I'm fine drawing you, but I don't have the slightest modicum of interest in actually researching you. Though, I do sometimes wonder where you get all that unabashed confidence from.
Ah, Petra. Just the lady I have been looking for.
Are you needing something, Ferdinand?
Why, yes, I do need something. Ravishing lady, princess from a foreign land, how sharp and true the swords you hold in your hand. Wilt thou not spar with me? How was that? Did I do it correctly? I want to be certain I understood the Brigid way.
What?
You see, I was perusing a book on your customs the other day. It was there that I came across a description of the proper way in which to make a request of members of the Brigid royal family. Apparently, one is supposed to improvise their need in the form of a song, while performing a small jig or rondo. I find it to be a most lovely tradition.
I am not knowing of this tradition.
You do not know it? But I am correct that song and dance are very important in your homeland, yes?
Yes, that is a truth. We are often singing and dancing as tribute to the spirits.
Then it has nothing to do with the royal family?
Ah, now I have understanding. Something has gotten lost inside of the translation. The ruler of Brigid is often asking the spirits for protection. This involves singing and dancing both. The members of the royal family are not witnessing the performance, they are doing the performance. Also, it is for special occasions only. No one bursts into a song with suddenness. That is strange.
Yes, I am discovering that for myself. I was convinced that Brigid must have some manner of odd custom that defies Fodlan convention.
Ferdinand, what land of silliness are you thinking I am from?
What? No, This is all going quite horribly. This is what I deserve for trusting that ridiculous book.
Do not be worrying. Even books of greatness may contain mistakes. I once was reading that all Fodlan nobles are born in wells. Can you be imagining?
That is a ridiculous notion.
And it was even within the title. Fodlan's Nobility, a day in the life of the wellborn.
Petra, well-born is actually a word. It means one who is born into a noble bloodline.
I am knowing that, Ferdinand. I was having a joke. I am not breaking into songs and dances, but I am breaking out the dictionary when I have the need.
A joke? I must say, this is quite surprising, Petra. You are unearthing my ignorance in spades today. This is twice you have made me dine on dirt in a single conversation.
Unearth? Spades? Dirt! Ah, I am understanding. You are having cleverness.
Well, no, that was merely a coincidence, but I am glad you enjoyed it.
Alright, now just... What's with the weird design on this piece here?
That is no design, Caspar, but a fracture. And a perfectly straight one at that, which makes it rather hard to discern. Repairing it will likely not prove worth the bother. Best relegate the piece to life as training equipment.
Wow, you really know your stuff, Ferdinand. I'm clueless when it comes to this kind of thing. Sometimes I think you know everything.
Oh, I am not quite so impressive as that. But you seem troubled by something, Caspar. What is it? No, forgive my presumption. Perhaps I was merely imagining it.
See? You do know everything. Something is kind of bothering me. I was talking to someone the other day about how I want to distinguish myself in battle, and they said that meant I wanted the war to go on forever. Of course, I told them they were nuts. Then I actually started thinking about it. About what I'll be doing when the war ends, I mean. About what I'll even be.
I do not think you have cause to worry. We may not know what the future holds, but you are delivering great results as a leader. Surely you will be held in esteem for such.
Sure, but doesn't that just mean my life is about nothing but fighting? I'm not a guy like you who's good at pretty much everything, so... Listen to me. I can't remember the last time I got in my own head like this.
Nonsense. We all have our worries. Why, even I have one or two of my own.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Well, your earlier appraisal of my boundless talent, for one.
Huh? But that's true. Also, why would you need to worry about being good at everything?
Oh, there is no doubt I can handle most things without much difficulty. And there are few things I have strong preferences about. Stimulants such as coffee aside.
Right. Which means...
But to me, that fact is nothing more than the flip side of having no prominent talents. I am a purveyor of all trades, but an expert in none. A man such as yourself, who possesses rare ability in a single field, is positively dazzling.
What? Okay, you are seriously overthinking this entire thing, Ferdinand. Don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled you have a high opinion of me, but any comparison of us is always going to end with my being humiliated.
Do you truly think so?
Look, I'm bad at the sciences, hopeless with strategy, and a complete oaf when it comes to coordinating anything besides tying my own shoes. But you can help me with all that stuff. And not just me, you can help everyone shore up their weak points. Sheesh. Alright, that's enough worry for one day. Time to go run until I puke. Yeah!
Caspar, wait! And he has gone. Still, I suppose the man makes an intriguing point. My lack of weaknesses does give me a unique ability to offer aid to everyone.
Well, Bernie, You were nothing but trouble for everybody, yet again.
There you are. I was worried when you failed to appear at mealtime.
I'm fine. All quiet here.
Please do not tell me your hunger was so great that you resorted to eating those plants there. You should be careful. I have heard there is some rather poisonous flora in this area.
Hey! I'm not going to eat poison! What kind of dummy do you think I am? I know exactly which plants are safe and which ones aren't.
It is strange to see you this confident on a topic. But if you are so certain, I think I should give your eye a test. Just to be safe, you understand.
We're doing what now?
Ah, I know. What say we have a little game to see who can collect the most edible plants?
What?
And as an army can never have too much food, this will serve to benefit the others. What a splendid idea.
Oh, why me? Okay, so this one would cause stomach aches, and that one would be really bitter. I think? Oh, I don't know. I've only ever seen it in books. But hey, I'm sure it's fine. I'll also take this one, and this one, and this one. Oh, and that one over. Wait, is that Ferdinand?
Such luster, such size, such a gorgeous crimson. Yes, this looks like a scrumptious leaf indeed. And there are bulbs under this tree. Rich white bulbs with the luster of a precious pearl.
Ah!
Bernadetta! I see. You were frightened by a mouse scampering by and took a bit of a tumble when you fled, yes?
Yeah, and I dropped all my beautiful plants that your dumb game made me don't collect.
Never mind that now. Show me your wound, please. Ah, yes. Just a scrape. Still, we should return to base and treat it before it festers.
Yeah, I suppose. Thanks for looking at it. Wait, that leaf! The one you're carrying!
This one? What of it? If you are hungry, we could snack on it while we walk back.
No! No! That plant has medicinal properties. It's a styptic.
Well, what luck. We can use it to treat your wound. Well, I must say, your talent for identifying plants is no idle boast.
Yeah, I eyeballed them pretty well, huh? Now let's take a look at yours and... What?
Are you at a loss for words with the quality of the plants I gathered?
Every one of these is poisonous!
What? But the gorgeous leaf, the robust vine!
Death in plant form! Throw them away before we die!
The tea is delicious, and though it's not quite sweet enough for me, it has a lovely aroma.
Ah, you've noticed. Yes, I added some rare rose nectar.
That explains the unique flavor. I rather like it.
As the saying goes, the richer the nectar, the richer the time spent with your companion.
Yes, and it goes so well with the treats that... Oh no! We've eaten them all!
Sadly, I fear that is all we have. Sweet treats are rather difficult to come by in these dark times. But if there is anything else you desire, I will endeavor to provide it.
If there are no more treats to be had, I feel our tea is complete. Good day.
Wait, stop! We may not have treats, but surely there are matters on your mind you might like to discuss?
No. Again, good day.
Lysithea, I know you do not want to talk about it, but I am aware of a certain anxiousness on your part when it comes to joining the common folk.
I don't know who you heard that absurd idea from, but it's certainly not true. It's true that I seek to become a commoner. So when the war is over, I intend to relinquish my peerage and live peacefully with my parents. But anxious? Perish the thought.
Yet you must be wrestling with serious matters indeed if you are willing to surrender your title. And you must have at least some unease about what sort of life a commoner leads. From what I hear, every noble who is descended in status is suffering, without exception. If such a future awaits you, it is surely just cause for a concern or two.
You speak of fallen nobles who had their ranks stripped for one reason or another. I'm surrendering the trappings of nobility because it's what I want. Don't lump us together.
I see. Well then, if I might raise a final point. What if you become a commoner and live a life which transcends the barrier between the two classes? You have experience as a noble of some quality, and it would be a terrible waste to see that buried once you join the proletariat. You would bring a unique perspective to your new position, and you could use it to change this world. The nobility will certainly listen to any suggestions you have to improve the lives of the public.
Yes, it's all a very pretty thought. But it is meaningless for me. It's the duty of nobility to worry about what is best for commoners and the world at large, no? I can no longer accept responsibility for things in Fodlan. All I can do is be close to my parents and live out what life remains to me in peace.
Lysithea,
Your tea was exceptional. Thank you.
Lysithea!
Must you cry out my name whenever you see me? Yes, well, what do you need?
A moment of your time, nothing more. I have an issue I would like to discuss.
Very well, but please make it fast.
It concerns your future.
Huh?
I just could not understand why a talented young woman such as yourself would make such a rash and frankly illogical decision. Why would you throw away your nobility? Why must you live with such hasty abandon? I sought answers to these questions. I attempted to understand your reason for living.
Could you not, though? It's incredibly irritating. Fine, whatever. Keep talking.
Right. Well, in the end, I happened upon your secret and came here to talk to you. I know you have been condemned to a brief life.
So you know the truth. Good for you. Well, as I have no options or choice in the matter, I'd appreciate you just leaving it be.
Do you truly have no options?
And what option do you think is open to me? I can't do anything but take on responsibility for my parents.
I do not know. At least, not right now, but...
Don't you think I'd do something if I could?
Of course. And as I said, I lack a solution to the issue at present. Though there may only be little time left to you, does it mean there is no tomorrow? No day after that? As long as you draw breath, you can take action.
And what action can I possibly take, Ferdinand? I stopped clinging to false hope long ago.
Do not turn away from the magic of possibility. Lord Arundel, and the others who worked in the shadows of the Empire, left behind a great deal of information. And, as you know, I have been delving into that information with Hubert. In the course of our work, we located records of the fell experiments conducted at House Ordelia.
You did?
We did. Now, there is no guarantee we will stumble across a solution to your particular problem. But we have the wisest minds of the Empire, including Linhardt, Professor Hanneman, and many others, researching the matter as we speak. So please, just hold on a little longer, Lysithea. Let us finish this before your life flickers out.
I don't even... Ferdinand, wait! Let me help with the research too! That way would be better! Much, much better! Wait for me!
Goodness, someone has been neglecting your care. Worry not, fair mare. I shall have your coat glistening in no time. Someone is doing a rather slapdash job of maintaining this equipment. Best take care of it.
I wasn't aware you were responsible for cleaning the training gear, Ferdinand.
I am not. Still, I cannot just leave it like this. And all will benefit if our equipment has a longer life.
In that case, let me lend a hand. I actually enjoy this kind of thing.
You have my thanks. Perhaps you might be so good as to start with that piece there.
Say, Ferdinand, are you really a noble?
I beg your pardon? What a horrid question! If I am not considered noble, then who is? After all, I am Ferdinand von Eyre.
Yes, you've made that quite clear, on many occasions.
Then are you attempting to remind me that the succession of House Eyre's peerage is on hold? It is unkind to prod at a man's sore spot like that. Though I will not hesitate to add, it does not mean my rank has been seized entirely.
That's not what I mean either. I understand you hold a noble's rank. It's just, well, something about you as a person reminds me of a commoner.
Such cheek! How can I remind you of base rabble when I strive without end to be the noblest of them all?
Because you take the initiative to muck out stables and clean filthy training gear? Most nobles I know wouldn't dream of doing such things. They just have the rabble do it.
It is my belief that nobility must serve as a model, nay, a beacon for the common folk. Doubly so in places like this, where people of different social status live alongside one another. It is precisely because of who I am that I must take the initiative. Such actions make a noble.
A praiseworthy mindset. But do any nobles besides you actually put it into practice? I don't know about the Empire, but I'm dang sure lesser nobles don't think that way. Just seeing commoners makes the bile rise in their throats. I'd say they treat us like animals, except they actually seem to appreciate their animals. Lawrence also draws stark lines between nobles and commoners, but he's a little better than the others.
Well, he is one of the nobles I find to be of merit. Regardless, your suspicion is correct. The Empire does have its fair share of nobles who bring shame to the appellation. But I will not allow them to set the standard for imperial nobility.
Huh. Maybe there's some kind of cultural difference.
Well, you are looking robust today. Let us get that coat of yours glowing, shall we?
Hey, Ferdinand.
Hello, Leonie. Have you some need of me?
I did a little detective work and learned something. You're the weird one.
I fear I do not take your meaning. How exactly am I weird?
You're a noble who delights in cleaning out stables and maintaining filthy equipment. And among the Imperial nobles, you're the only one who does those kinds of things when it's not your specific responsibility. Which means I was right. Empire and Alliance nobles are all the same.
I think I understand what you're trying to say. Certainly among those you investigated, I am the only one who puts such ideas into action. But that is, if you would forgive me, a surface-level assessment. The reality beating at the heart of the matter is quite different indeed.
Okay, what does that mean?
True nobles think as I do, inside their heads. It just so happens that I am the only one who turned thought into deed on this particular occasion. So, if you believe those actions to be strange, you are saying the thoughts of all of them are strange as well. Which means you find all nobles of the world, myself among them, to be strange.
Are you trying to confuse me? Because it's working. How do you reach a conclusion like that? I'm telling you. You're the only weird one.
We appear to be arguing past one another.
Seems like it, but I'm still right.
Then I am left with no choice but to make you understand that I am the right sort of noble.
And I'll have to make you understand there aren't actually any other nobles like you.
Goodness, whatever is the matter with me? It is out of character for me to be so obstinate. An understanding like this ought never be forced upon a person. My behavior was ill-befitting a noble, Leonie. Please, allow me to apologize.
Nah, I got pretty heated there myself. At the end of the day, you're taking charge and being helpful, and that's what counts. It doesn't really matter if other nobles would ultimately do the same thing or not. So, sorry.
You must think nothing of it. However, I believe a thought has just come to me. Ultimately, the problem is not me. It is that you mistrust the nobility as a whole. That being the case, I must redouble my efforts to put my philosophy into action, so as to make others of my stature understand the correct way of things. I am certain this will rid us of the selfish sort of nobles you imagine to be lurking around every corner.
Wait, I mean, that'd be pretty great, but... if nobles start taking the initiative to work and stop looking down on commoners, doesn't that just make them commoners?